All right, so in this trip we're off to Wisemans Ferry. So coming from Sydney, we are crossing Webb's Creek. That's the barge that we're putting the car onto to cross over to Wisemans Ferry. So we're staying at the Rio Holiday Park, which is supposed to be incredible, we've heard. So it is quite warm this time of year. It looks like the temps are going to drop to about, say, 3 degrees overnight. So you can make fires here, which is good. But yeah, they do sell firewood, so bring your own firewood if you can. If not, then you can buy some at the site. Wisemans Ferry is located 75 k's northwest of Sydney. It took us about an hour and a half to get there. To get to Rio Holiday Park, you'll need to cross the ferry in your car, which is free of charge and it operates 24 hours a day. Wisemans Ferry is a rustic village on the Hawkesbury River where you can relax by the river or visit its shops and cafes. You ready to hop on the barge?
Yep.
Yep.
Sort of like the one with Rosa.
Hello! All right, hopping in, the barge is here. So there's also a pedestrian cabin on the barge. So if you're off the car,
It's all flooded.
yeah. So just talking to one of the gentlemen that works here, this place, Wisemans Ferry, was affected by the floods not long ago. And he says that the water came up as far as the power lines right over there in the distance, as you can see. So it was substantial, the amount of water that affected this place. So that poor house over there would have been smashed by it. So on the barge here you can really smell, there's a pretty bad smell. The water's still brown from all the floods here in New South Wales. Now this is the first weekend that Del Rio has opened since the recovery of the flood, so it's great to be able to support them during this time. So it's only a short little ride across, but pleasant. As you come out from the barge, you're going to turn left and keep going, and that'll take you to Del Rio. So the guy was saying that because there is quite a smell around, and that's, you know, all the storm water coming from Richmond and all those other areas. So it really affected this place quite a bit, as so did it, you know, with lots of areas and suburbs over New South Wales. But yeah, it's a nice drive up, and yeah, plenty of natural surrounds to enjoy, plenty of bushwalking and sightseeing to do. So that over there is the amenities block. Beautiful campsite, quite a big caravan park. So we've just set up camp and we're just going to go for a little wander around and have a look. Okay, so you've got a car and boat washing area here, which is great. So a lot of people bring their boats along because there is a boat ramp here. There's also little picnic areas sort of scattered alongside, and plenty of space. So alongside the camping, like the caravan sites, you also have these cabins, and they're all along the waterfront there. Plenty of cabins along the waterfront here. It's beautiful. During the summer months, this place would be incredible. There's plenty of water sports, and I can imagine a lot of people do a lot of jet skiing, water skiing. It'd be full of adventure here, I'd say, in the summertime.
Yeah.
So here's the jetty. Plenty of picnic tables, jumping pillow in the distance, which is a favourite for the kids. There's volleyball courts, basketball courts. It's a pretty incredible caravan park. So yeah, a lot of boating. And obviously water line over here on the jetty. So you got some basketball courts, volleyball courts, and 2 big jumping pillows. Yeah, it's truly a kids' haven, this place. So you've also got a playground over there and a place called the Hub where there's a junior games room. So yeah, plenty to do here. It's quite the spot for your holidays.
And ping pong.
There's even ping pong.
Yeah, see that? Playground.
And alongside the playground, you've got a cafe there in the distance. So that's a water park. And a pool. And putt-putt golf. Which is pretty cool. Okay, just to show the severity of these floods that sweep through Wisemans Ferry to Del Rio campsite. Look at the bushes. You can see all the mud, the dried up mud that's on there. That's how high the water level came to. If you see the water level over there, it rose quite substantially. You can also see on the bins, they've all got sort of dried mud on them. So they're obviously all floating around. Pretty horrendous when you think about it. So yeah, it's a good time to support Del Rio. So we're just about to put the fire on now because it's getting a little nippy. So we just thought we'd come over to the lake and have a look around. It's just beautiful here. In the summertime, it would be phenomenal. Just really peaceful spot. You're away from everything, so make sure you pack all the food that you need, because to get back to a shop you'd need to go back onto the barge. Now, lots of rules in this caravan park, so just be mindful, no electric scooters, and they're really strict about kids riding bikes unattended, unwatched. But there's so many activities for the kids, so they've got mini putt-putt, they've got so many great things. It's just fantastic. And it's also lots to do for adults as well. As you can see, there's the jetty. You can go and have a fish off the jetty. And just the surrounds are just so peaceful and lovely. So we're on our way to a place called the Convict Trail, and to head there from the Del Rio resort. It's a walk, this Convict Trail. To get over, you on the road heading out from Del Rio, and you've crossed the first barge, and then there's a second barge that you cross, which will take you there. Just so you can see the enormity of the floods and the storms here. Look at all the landslides. Just heading out from the ferry. Yeah, so the damage is really substantial around this area from the floods. As you can see over here, this is an old historic bridge. I think it's called the St James Bridge. Oh, I'm not too sure. And it's just, yeah, a lot of it has just fallen away, which is really sad. So it looks like they're going to have to do extensive work here to repair it. But yeah, all along the road heading into the Convict Trail. So the Convict Trail is probably, I don't know, a couple meters from here. You go past this bridge and then you just park your car here and off you go into the trail. Okay, so this trail, the old Convict Trail, is connected to, it's part of the old Great North Road, and there's a little plaque here, and what does it say, Pete?
550 convicts, some with leg irons, or some in leg irons, worked on the road. Evidence includes stockade sites, hand-picked water holes, and graffiti engraved into the sandstone.
That's pretty amazing. So this trail was built between 1826 and 1836, and it was basically built by convict labourers, and they built it within that era to connect Sydney through to Newcastle and like the Hunter region. So yeah, pretty incredible. Lots of history here. So yeah, we'll take you through. Our first little statue we've come across, Warami Wella Mambami. Apologies if I haven't said that properly, but that means it is good to see you wherever you have come from in Aboriginal, one of the Aboriginal languages. So very cool. The whole track is 240 k's, so I doubt that will be doing that within this whole trip. So we're just going to do sections of it and try and see if we can come across little treasures or little plaques, and just enjoy the surrounds. It's really pretty, a lot of nature, lots of birds, be great for bird watching. Just along the walk you can see some caves in the distance. So there's a little plaque here which I find really interesting and amazing. There's the Australian convict sites. So it shows all of the places that are registered as Australian convict sites, which is really cool. And this old Great North Road, the Convict Trail, 1828 to 1835, is right here, which is pretty cool. You've got Port Arthur there, you've got Coal Mines Historic Site in Tasmania. Yeah, so lots of lovely, great information that you find across this trail about all of this Australian history, which is just amazing to see. Some more rocks and caves up there, pretty cool. What have you got there, Sienna?
I've got a rock, and also it's like
beautiful,
pretty see-through.
Yeah, very cool.
And
complexion to
also
it. We have a look.
It's blurry a bit.
Yeah. Some good colours.
But it's not blurry on the other side.
No, it's not. So for those of you who have seen a few of our YouTube videos will probably know by now Sienna loves rocks. So she has a collection of them, and she loves, I think, geology. I think she might be a geologist one day, but she's really interested in the rocks and all the formations and, you know, if they're porous or not, etc. So yeah, so proud that she's got such a curious mind, you know. It's great to see.
I've also found another rock.
Oh, let's have a look.
Just see on the side, changes colour.
It does. Very clever. See, all these rocks are formed by over millions and millions of years.
She's now going in the shackles.
She's been naughty.
No, I haven't.
Closer.
So, yeah.
There you go.
This is what happens, Sienna, when you're a convict. It would tie you.
Your legs were shackled together.
Yeah. All right, so as you can see, along the edge here, that's part of the road
Yep, pass the camera.
in which they built.
And you can see in all the sandstone, all the pick marks for them to make the wall and carve out the sandstone.
Pretty amazing. So there's some cool little facts here if you head to each plaque. So it looks like these leg irons, the shackles that the convicts used to wear, they used to weigh about 3 or 4 kilograms, which is crazy. So imagine you're walking around with those around the place. So it's called Divine's Hill, this place. And the reason why it's named after a guy called Owen Devine, and he was sentenced for 7 years. So he was a convict here working on the track. So this plaque mentions, the plaque along here displaying this humongous rock, the large rock cutting. The convicts faced huge challenges here cutting this rock. They had to work downwards, and it would take them forever to cut through the rock to form the road. So yeah, you can imagine just the amount of manpower you needed to achieve that. So yeah, pretty incredible. Oh, so there's so many incredible tales that are told here of these incidences. So this guy was a shoemaker. There's a little sculpture here of a shoe. He was sentenced to death in 1823 from England for stealing 3 watches. So he was sentenced to death, but then later he was appealed, and he was sentenced here to become a convict in Australia, and worked on this road, the Convict Trail road. So he left Sarah, his wife, and 2 kids, and then later on she applied to come to Australia and was accepted. So she came over with 1 child. They had 2 children, so the other one must have passed away. It was a real tough life back then. And then she found him and applied for him to be her servant, but that required X amount of shillings a week, which she couldn't afford. So anyway, somewhere down the track they both got back together. Then they had another child, and they had a death of another child. So then apparently he went off the rails and a life of crime. But yeah, and then she left to Sydney. So tell you what, tough life back then. But yeah, this Convict Trail just gives you a scale of how tough it was back then. And yeah, this is all these convicts made modern Australia, obviously. I mean, you know, the Australia that it is today, all the workers. Yeah, so that they're a part of a lot of what's formed in Australia. So yeah, it's a great walk. There's lots of plaques with lots of stories. It's real educational for the kids too as well.
These are in here.
Oh, you can stop, stop, stop.
Oh, there's a visitor's book.
Stop, okay, Lincoln.
How cool.
Go in the process.
So you get 50 lashes or 30 lashes, it says, for bad behaviour or swearing. Here's a little list of how many lashes you got. It's crazy.
And here is the thing.
Well, that's an example of it.
Yeah.
What's it say?
There's the sun peering through the hole there, top of Hangman's Rock. So this is Hangman's Rock. We just read on the plaque that there are stories of people being hung here. So the convicts, people that were tried at the courthouse over at Wisemans Ferry, would be sent over here and they would hang them from this cave. So there's an opening up the top of the cave. I don't know if you can see it. The string would be at the base of a tree up the top of the roof of the cave, and they would hang them off this rock. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that, but yeah, a really amazing formation as well. As you can see, it's beautiful. Yeah, so if you come closer, there's some steps to go up. That's quite chilling. And there's a viewing platform just over to your right over here. As you can see, there's a guy watching. Yeah, pretty morbid. So we just stumbled across some campers, hikers just up the road here. And they are camping 18 k's up the hill, up the big road. So apparently there's a campsite along there, which I had no idea about. Neither of us did. And there's apparently a Buddhist retreat over there. So for anyone that's interested, but yeah, 18 k's up the road, and I'd say it's off-road somewhere remote. If you look closely at the rock, see these lines that you see coming down from the rocks. So I'd say that that's where they would put shafts along by hand and just hammer them in to have the rock pull away and break off. So yeah, super hard work that they had to endure, these convicts. So there you can see some more carvings from where they'd have to manually put in the shafts. Alright, so if you can see here, there's like a little one of those drainage pipes that they would make, so through these gullies for drainage. So the water would go under the road and pop out over here. Oh, pretty clever. So here's another little drainage system that they would have made. It's quite pretty on the way down as well, because you've got a nice view of the Hawkesbury. So yeah, it's gorgeous. You can see just over there the barge and all the boats along the Hawkesbury River. All right, so that was the Convict Trail walk. The walking track all up is about 3.9 k's in distance if you want to walk the whole thing. So it took us about, say, I don't know, 45 minutes. We didn't do the whole thing though. But yeah, give yourself plenty of time to stop and read the plaques, because there's so much information along the way. Oh, look at these gorgeous red maples. How beautiful. Tell you what, it's a beautiful time of year to come here, because it's autumn, or it's now winter, but yeah, it's just really pretty. It's really green. There's a lot of, all the deciduous trees are there, and it's just really lovely. St Albans. So we've stopped here for some lunch. It's a great little historic pub. You get some food. Along the pub here you got some chooks and a peacock. Wow! Don't get too close, because they'll scare them away. Look, Lincoln, some chickens and a peacock. Chickens, cluck, cluck, cluck. Yeah, darling.
Look at the goblin thing. Look at the goblin thing.
Plenty of toys for the kids. Tractors. This place is amazing. St Albans Inn. Ah, you're on the tractor. Very cool.
Beep, beep.
Beep beep.
Look, Linky. I'm on a real one.
I was standing there all alone against the world outside. You were searching for a place to hide. The ways we seem to say as I walk down and down the ferry on just ring a bell and repeat. I can tell that you make all the good nights get scared. And you can play
I'm coming.
There is something really cool in the hens and chickens and roosters. Hey,
What is it?
cool. Eggs.
Have they laid some eggs?
Eggs.
Have they?
So much.
Have they laid eggs? Can you show me where?
See?
Oh my
And
goodness.
also,
Yes, they've laid so many
I'm going to get
eggs.
one.
Oh no, just leave them there because they're probably for the shop. Oh, what can you see there?
Lemon tree.
Beautiful. Lots of lemons growing.
Yeah. And
Oh.
also, here's an orange tree.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh no, it might be a lemon tree.
A mandarin tree. Yes, yes. Oh, how wonderful. Look at this.
And also,
Beautiful.
a lime tree.
It's a car. Yeah, and a bike.
Bike.
Paw Patrol. Yes.
Bike.
Okay, so we had a delicious lunch over at St Albans Settlers Inn. Highly recommend. The food was incredible. But now we're heading toward the market. So across the way there's some markets going on we had no idea about, but we're just going to check it out. So here are the markets. Yippee! These beautiful maple trees.
Ready? Linky!
You can grab a whole bunch and throw it up to the sky. Go on. You can do a whole... Go, up.
This is more of a playground than that.
And that's a wrap. That was Del Rio at Wisemans Ferry. It was a great campsite. What would you give it out of 10?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Did you like it, Zena? Yeah,
What?
Lincoln.
9?
Yeah, you loved it too. Great spot. Such a great place to just hang out, and there's so many activities to do around the area. Summertime would be amazing here. Just wanted to share this beautiful piece of fog. I don't know if you can see it with the sun there in the distance, but the mornings have been stunning. So when you wake up, there's always sort of fog on the lake. It can get pretty cold here in the winter. So we were experiencing, I think it got down to about 3-4 degrees overnight. The diesel heater worked a treat, so yeah, highly recommend the Chinese diesel heaters if you're wondering what they are or where to get them. Down below I'll put a link of our video explaining how we put it in to the van, etc. The road in is a little bit windy, so would you? Yeah,
It's fine for us.
It's
We
fine.
spoke to another couple and they said they wouldn't bring they didn't bring their big van down.
So yeah, windy roads in, so camper trailers and say our smaller journey, a caravan, easy. But I think if you've got a massive caravan, it might be, I don't know.
there are other
You'd be
people with
able to
big
do
vans
it,
as well.
but yeah, it's just windy. So yeah, if you're not a fan of windy roads while you're towing, then I would think twice. But yeah, plenty of camping off unpowered campsites as well, or powered campsites for people that aren't towing.